want you to look at your calendar right now. Not later, right now. Grab your phone, open it up, and let me ask you, how many meetings do you have this week? Now, I want you to ask yourself a question about each meeting that you have. If this meeting didn't exist, what would actually break? For most of you, the answer is probably nothing. Nothing would break because most of your meetings should not exist. Today, I'm going to tell you 5 types of meetings you should cancel this week and what to do instead. I'm Lauren Apple. I am a scaling strategist for CEO parents who help you build businesses that give you both profit and presence because you shouldn't have to choose. Let's jump right in. First, let me tell you why your calendar is full of meetings that shouldn't exist. It's not because you're bad at saying no. It's because meetings feel productive. When you're in a meeting, you're doing something. Your calendar is full. You're talking, you're collaborating, you're checking things off. It feels like work. But here's the problem. Meetings are where you talk about work. Deep work is where you actually do the work. And most people have way too much of the first and not nearly enough of the second. Think about it. When do you actually move your business forward? When you're creating, building, thinking strategically, serving clients, not when you're sitting in meetings talking about what you're going to do. The meeting isn't the work. The meeting is a conversation about work. And we've convinced ourselves that more conversations equal more progress. They don't. So let me show you the 5 meetings you should cancel this week. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. Meeting number 1, the recurring meeting with no clear purpose. You know the one. It's been on your calendar for months, maybe years. It happens every week or every 2 weeks, and nobody really remembers why it started. We should probably check in regularly. It's good to stay aligned. We've always had this meeting, but when you actually get on the call, what happens? You go around, you give updates that could have been emails, you chat about random things, and you look at the clock and wonder when it's going to end. Nothing concrete comes out of it. No decisions made, no problems solved, no real value created. Here's the test. Are you ready? Ask yourself, what specific outcome does this meeting produce? Not connection or alignment, those are vague. What specific decisions get made? What specific problems get solved? If you can't answer that clearly, the meeting shouldn't exist. Cancel it. If people complain, replace it with a weekly async update, okay? Everyone posts their updates in Slack or on email. Everyone reads on their own time. Same information, 0 meeting time. Meeting number 2, the meeting where you're an optional attendee. Look at your calendar and find the meetings where you're not essential, where you're there just in case or for visibility or because you were CC'd on the invite, where the meeting would happen perfectly fine without you. You don't need to be there. Cancel your attendance. Here's the thing, FOMO keeps us in meetings we don't need to attend. We're afraid we'll miss something important. We're afraid decisions will be made without our input. We're afraid we'll be out of the loop. But ask yourself, how often does something actually happen in those meetings that required your presence? Almost never. And if something important does come up, someone can fill you in afterwards. You can read the notes. You can ask for a summary. You don't need to sit through 60 minutes to catch the 3 minutes that might possibly be relevant to you. Cancel your attendance. Ask for notes instead. Meeting number 3, the brainstorm meeting. This is controversial, I know, but hear me out, okay? Most brainstorm meetings are a waste of time. Here's why. You get a bunch of people together. Someone says, let's brainstorm ideas. Everyone throws out random thoughts. Someone dominates the conversation. The introverts stay quiet. You end up with a list of mediocre ideas that nobody's actually going to execute, and it took an hour. brainstorming works better async. Here's what to do instead. Send a prompt. I need ideas on X. Please send me your top 3 thoughts by Thursday. This way, everyone thinks independently. You get more diverse ideas because people aren't just building on what the loudest person said. The introverts contribute equally. And then you can have a short meeting to discuss the best ideas. But the generation happens before the meeting, not during it. Cancel the brainstorm, send an async prompt instead. Meeting number 4, the status update meeting. This is the one where everyone goes around and shares what they're working on. What did you do last week? What are you doing this week? Any blockers? Sound familiar? Status update meetings are almost always a waste of time. Here's why. Most of the information isn't relevant to most of the people. You're sitting there listening to someone else's update, waiting for your turn, zoning out, and then everyone listens to your update, which is only relevant to maybe 1 or 2 people in the room. It's inefficient for everyone. Here's what to do instead. Async updates. Everyone posts their status update in a shared doc, Slack channel, or project management tool. Everyone reads the updates that are relevant to them. If there's a question or a blocker that needs discussion, then you schedule a focused conversation, but only with the people who actually need to be there. The default should be async. The meeting should be the exception. Cancel the status meeting, create an async update system instead. All right, and lastly, meeting number 5, the meeting that should be a decision. This is the one where you're meeting to discuss something you already know the answer to. You're meeting to get buy-in, to make sure everyone feels heard, to avoid making a decision on your own. But deep down, you already know what the right call is. You don't need a meeting. You just need to make the decision. Here's what I've learned. A lot of meetings exist because we're avoiding responsibility. If I make the decision alone and it's wrong, it's on me. If we all meet and decide together, the responsibility is shared. But that's a terrible reason to have a meeting. Make the decision, communicate it, and move on. If you're the leader, lead. Not every decision needs to be a consensus. Not every choice needs a meeting. Sometimes you just need to decide. Cancel the meeting, make the decision instead. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but Lauren, what about connection? What about team culture? Don't we need meetings for that? Yes, sort of. Connection matters. Team culture matters so much, but scheduled let's connect meetings are usually not the answer. Here's what I found works better. Have fewer, better meetings. Instead of 5 mediocre meetings a week, have 1 or 2 really good ones. Meetings with clear agendas, clear outcomes, clear value. Meetings where everyone leaves feeling like their time was well spent. Quality over quantity. Build connection into the margins. The first few minutes of a focused meeting can be for connection. A quick, how is everyone, before you dive into the agenda? Or what were you up to this weekend? You don't need a separate meeting for it. Create async connection spaces. A Slack channel where people share wins and celebrations. A weekly coffee chat that's optional for anyone who wants to attend. Don't make everyone attend a meeting just so some people can connect. Make connection optional and organic, not mandatory and scheduled. Let me tell you what happened when I cut my meetings. A few years ago, I had over 20 hours of calls and meetings every single week. I was on the phone or on Zoom constantly, and I felt busy. I felt productive. I was doing the things. But when I looked at what I was actually accomplishing, not much. Because I had no time to actually do work. All my time was spent talking about work. So I did an audit. I went through every single recurring meeting and asked what would break if this didn't exist. And I was honest. Most of them, nothing would break. I canceled about 60% of my meetings. I replaced most of them with async alternatives. The ones I kept, I made sure they had clear purposes and clear outcomes. And here's what happened. I got 15 or more hours back every single week. 15 hours! That's almost 2 full work days. My deep work time tripled. I started actually making progress on strategic projects instead of just talking about them. And here's the surprising thing. Nothing broke. Nobody complained, at least not after the first week. People adjusted. They used async. They figured it out. The meetings weren't as essential as everyone thought. So here's what I want you to do this week. Step 1, look at your meeting on your calendar, every single meeting. Step 2, for each meeting, ask, what would break if this didn't exist? Now be honest. Not what might be less convenient, but what would actually break. Step 3, identify which of the 5 types of meeting it falls into, okay? Recurring with no clear purpose, you're optional. Brainstorming meeting, status update meeting, decision you're avoiding. Step 4, cancel at least one, just one this week, and see what happens. Spoiler, nothing bad will happen. And once you see that, you'll want to cancel more. Step 5, replace meetings with async alternatives. Updates go in Slack or a shared doc. Have a Slack channel called Weekly Updates. Brainstorming prompts go via email. Status updates go in your project management tool. Decisions get made by the decision maker. If you want help restructuring how you work, if you want to build a business that doesn't require you to be in meetings all day, that's what my coaching is all about. We look at your entire operation and figure out where you're wasting time. Link for that is in the description below. And if you want more frameworks like this, make sure to subscribe to this channel and sign up for our email list. We send out emails every single week with practical advice just like this. Real strategies for CEO parents who want both profit and presence. Link for that is also in the description below. Your calendar is full of meetings that shouldn't exist. Cancel them. Just go do it. One meeting this week.